That would be the
Marcus
woods.
place. Oh, okay.
All right.
I don't know if it makes sense. It's in my contract.
Okay.
It wouldn't be chaos otherwise.
If he was a
I was actually talking about me. I'm not required to make sense. It's in my contract.
So,
To be
Where were
fair,
you?
I'm not required to make any sense either.
I signed no contract.
my contract's about 30,000 pages of legalese that boils down to he does whatever the hell he wants and no one can tell him otherwise.
Except me.
Yes, but that's an addendum clause.
As opposed to a Santa Claus.
Yeah. I shall have to try it later.
Now,
Nobody heard my joke.
I
I
did.
did.
we did.
Okay.
No one commented on
No
your
one
joke.
commented on it. I'm far enough away to avoid the troll slap.
We were mid-squirrel.
Yeah, pretty much.
The glow sticks were being snapped.
Yeah, yeah. The rave is just getting started.
Where we last left off,
The colored squirrels stay at the same rave.
the straight man of the party, our barbarian, the one who, paid attention and focused on a particular goal,
My head says
is... He bought everyone... He made certain everyone had rooms. This is a mid-range place. Stone home. Let's face it, you don't exactly have to be imaginative if there's not too much competition, as far as naming goes.
And it sounds solid, which means we're probably not going to break it.
No, considering...
Probably.
Well, if you break it, you're going to cause a minor landslide, as, like, a lot of the buildings here, they are not so much buildings as, humanoid-sized caves hacked out of the mountainside.
Probably.
Yes. No magic in here for you. When we go outside,
Oh,
do you want the building to fall on your head?
they might turn into flowers.
This is true.
Stranger things have
I have
happened.
armor.
Now, everyone decided to go there, get a good night's sleep. Presumably, Badira did as well. There was
We're not sure.
There was a nightly spleen check, and a dagger popped out of the shadow somewhere, so you knew she was at least
In the building.
at that time.
Yes.
The rest of the time she could have been anywhere else.
But we made sure we knew where she was before we all decided to rest for the evening.
And
The
before,
question is, would you really want her in the same room when you're asleep while bags are unguarded? Or at least being guarded by her?
Badira has yet
I
to
will
violate.
slap you with the mace.
You do not violate the policy of don't shit where you sleep.
True.
You steal from other people.
Right.
Which can be
Except for me. You stole my friggin' granola.
So did I, though.
I liberated your granola, thank you very much.
Liberation was supposed to happen in my stomach, not yours.
Viva la Revolution!
Well, yes, but you also didn't want the granola back after I...
The
She
granola
was
was under threat, she was going to eat it.
Well, yes, I turned the granola blue, though, and she thought that was wrong.
It is wrong.
Well,
I ate
it
the blue
reminds her of the abomination.
I ate the blue
It should have
granola.
been green instead.
Babe, we forgot to turn the stove off.
Oh,
The beef was on the eye and we kept it on low so it would thicken up a little bit.
that's right.
And now it is sludge.
Woohoo! I haven't assembled any cottage pie for myself yet, so...
Would you assemble a bowl for him?
salvageable. It's salvageable. It's fine.
That's why we had it on low, was to just kind of keep it warm. So,
And now,
do you
previous
want to
narrative.
assemble a bowl for him?
Or he's up, so he can.
I'm up, but...
It's maneuvering.
I
That's.
can maneuver up.
How was your drink, by the way?
It's good. I still have one. Because I was digging in my dice bag. I thought since I had to dig through the whole thing to pull
That's
out
not
what
a
I
clean bowl
wanted,
sitting there on the...
I should
No,
probably
we
check
used
to
the
make sure
ball.
I actually had all my dice and there wasn't dice in the bottom of my bag.
Fair enough.
You don't know anybody in Indianapolis,
No,
right? Okay.
ignore it.
I got a call today from Ohio that when I called it back was some radio station.
WMJI or something?
Yeah, wanting me to, be in some kind of a trivia contest.
Okay.
Okay, then they got your number through me somehow. Because that's the Northeast Ohio radio station.
It was weird. I mean, I can't get mad.
It was just, what?
They didn't give me enough time to answer it,
You
though.
could have won monies.
Probably not. It's Ohio.
Actually, because she's out of state, she wouldn't be able to participate anyway. I know the rules. That's why I've had to have
Actually,
the...
no, they may have gotten it because I have a Michigan phone number.
Depends if they actually have if they broadcast in Michigan as well. I don't know. So, you may be right.
They may down towards the border.
Hmm.
So, they may have gotten it because it's a Michigan number.
And in case you're wondering what that is half hazelnut. Most of the rest of it is coffee, but there was a splash of the American blended whiskey. Just splash on top. It's a little bit of a bite to counterbalance.
Just gonna go by eye drink.
Hey, we drink kombucha, so we're right there with you. Same idea. We should actually start finishing that off.
We should.
Because
you're gonna have
I need to
do
buy
another
sugar.
batch. We should stop and buy sugar because we're almost out anyway.
So, and we'll need 2 bags.
Yeah, because we're almost out at the house for...
Yeah, I'm that was bad.
That'd be very bad. He bought
Fair
a
enough,
coffee
forks
grinder, Bill.
or whatever
for,
there. The dishwasher is clean. So.
For over at Soren's.
Spoon.
Okay. Spoon.
Yeah, they had sourdough at Kroger. $6.
Yeah, the little blade grinder.
Yeah, this is Mr. Coffee blade grinder.
Yeah. They're not that expensive. And,
But
you know,
it was listed as 20.
yeah.
But, you
They-
know,
$6.
so this solves the, need to bring coffee whenever we stay over there. Because it doesn't matter where she's at, waking up in the morning without coffee is like trying to get a cat to move from a warm spot.
So in
It doesn't work.
my
out.
game, babe,
Mm-hmm.
I gave them enough material so that they could make a sleeping draft that was strong enough to knock out 10 men or 1 troll.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. I can stay awake and stay awake. Unfortunately, once I hit the tired point, thud.
He does. I've watched him do it. It's actually kind of cute. The one night he was just all curled up, sound asleep. I couldn't bear to wake him up.
Apparently, the body decided you need 12 hours, so you're taking it. And that's why I installed that override switch for.
My body hasn't done that in a long time.
We could hit you over the head.
Well, when you're a teenager and a
That's a
doctor,
sex tricky.
when you're a teenager and a doctor tells you you're not going to
Actually,
see
that may have been
30,
one of the last times they
if you
did.
keep sleeping like you are, then I wouldn't be here. There'd be no game. There'd be no troll. There'd be no Steph.
Things would be sad. Excuse me.
Beautiful timing. Speaking of beautiful timing. Now, okay, the previous portion of the day,
Timing. Beautiful timing.
Janik found the bars. He found several bars. He started with one a little more of a dwarven pub, and it kept going. Why? Because.
It's not a bar crawl, it's bar skipping, hopping, jumping.
Now, considering
I
they
don't know,
can't.
you drink enough, it turns into a bar crawl.
He's not spending that much money. He wants to buy the things.
So thus it's a bar dance.
Yes.
And actually, considering that this area builds far more vertically than you used to for most towns, it's more of a bar climb.
I'm okay with this.
Unless you start at the top of the hill and then it's bar roll.
Mm-hmm.
It might be wiser to start at the top of the hill.
I have spider climb.
Yes, but you have feather fall.
Spider chaos, spider chaos.
Which in combination could be a lot of fun.
Yes.
Our wonderful paladin decided to actually locate a blacksmith and enhancement shop, and the first order of business was apparently to exchange the gold tile of +1. Somewhat dented, unfortunately, you melted down. Who cares?
Right.
She was a-
I had actually gone with
Yeah.
for the gold tile.
Ah,
Yeah, he did go with me for the tile.
and after the exchange rate is all said and done, you will be receiving 11,700 gold.
Okay.
So, but that will take another day and a half.
Okay.
Past that, I'm not entirely certain. No, yes, Marcus is trying to acquire himself a tame dire goat.
Yes,
Before
yes, he
sleep.
was. And Kevin
There-
agreed that yes, that is something he would do.
Badira was probably wandering through the marketplace exchanging people's coin purses for bags of gravel.
Bags of gravel.
Roughly the same way.
With the occasional chunk of flattened steel in there just so they hear the chime.
Yep.
But the only time someone nearly caught you was the fact it was a half-elf. They could tell it sounded off. However, you know, it's a wonderful thing when there's handholds and a carved stone surface. So, next morning. How do you know it's morning? You hear... It sounds like a tick, tick, and then it chimes. No, not yet. No, there are 8 chimes. And then there's a small explosion.
Marcos,
I didn't do it this time.
Yet.
we don't believe you.
Nope.
Alright. Anyhow, if anyone decides to go down and check what the hell it is,
Excuse me.
if you notice, okay, you're on main thoroughfare,
Thank you.
took a right, so if you look down the T intersection, you can kind of see the upper half of this. It is a gigantic clock tower
What?
with a cannon mounted on it.
10?
The boom you heard was them setting off the cannon. That's the punctuation for every hour.
Good job.
Boom for the boom god. I like it.
So another question is, in character, what is everyone doing? Out of character, do we actually want to go through the shopping trip, or do we want to expedite it? And I hand you a list of available options later, and we can carry on. I leave it up to the group.
I'm okay with shopping list.
I'm okay with the shopping
Yeah.
list, yeah.
All right. And everyone shopping list. So let's assume the next day and a half is spent.
You
Shopping.
already knew what I was gonna really go for
Right.
anyways, so
You have ideas what I'm looking for. So,
I have, depending on what you're willing to pay, all told, whatever you gathered up, and whatever however the party's willing to split, us presumably equally.
Right, we actually calculated it out last time.
yeah.
So, let's
So-
see. We're each at about 1,600,
So it's not going to be
and that was
Plus.
before the tile.
okay for the tile, right? So, just out of curiosity,
I'm pretty sure that was before the tile.
Yeah, because
1660 is what everybody was at.
yeah,
I
everyone's
dropped
at about
another 60 because of
1660.
random booze.
Yeah.
now I'm dividing it by 6 for the main group because I'm going to have Travis' character independently handled, and Malone's an NPC. So I'm not going to have the NPC take away from your wealth. Which means everyone has got 3,610.
On top of the 1660.
No, that is total.
Total. Well, then I have 1610 because you told me it was going to be about $2,000 for
Yes.
what I wanted.
And that is going to take it's going to take 8 hours.
That's fine. I would have gone that next morning.
So I'm establishing a time frame, so if there happens to be any role play in the group, we can't.
3660.
3660.
3610.
3610. Okay, fine. 3610.
So if there's any RP that wants to happen while they're choosing a shopping list, we know what the time span is of the day. And essentially, everyone's got their shit together by the end of the 3rd day.
Okay.
Okay, I'm at 3550.
Before you spend it, yes.
Well, I had to drop the extra 60 that I had already
Yeah,
spent.
yeah.
So,
Well, this does eliminate one concern from the list. You couldn't afford above 3rd level spells, so I will edit together a list for you. Now, as the group has been spending time in, oh dear, I hate when I forget when I've named something.
place. Wait.
With the stores
that time.
and the bars.
Spades.
No, you were robbing people, not killing them.
Right. And you were not robbing out of their
And
spleen.
the coin purses.
Yes, the koi purse is not.
Alright, so I'm going with Fortuna is the name of this one, of the town here. As you've been out and about, having lunch, just listening to people occasionally, because there are, surprisingly, a couple of members of the group that actually enjoy the company of other people.
I'm enjoying the company of other people. The other people just don't know it.
Exactly.
She's enjoying the company of other people's money.
She's not.
And
Danae really doesn't care about that.
And then there's our dwarf, who has no doubt spent many a time conversing with extended family relatives, finding out, how things are going, all that sort of nonsense. So what you end up hearing, you'll be the first to find out, at the drow raids that have been just an ongoing facet of lives, like the dire goats and the occasional, wormling that soars over, which is more a case of please scare it off rather than try and kill it. The drow raids have not only increased in frequency, they've been combative. One of your fourth cousins was out on a trading caravan between one of the deeper cities that was actually built underground.
He kept kicking him out and he came back.
Came on another caravan, smaller one, that was already being attacked. But another draw raiding party came up out of a side cavern that no one actually noticed was there. And in fact, when they later checked, there wasn't a hole that they could find, yet they distinctly saw them come out of it. And proceeded to kill the first group, take their shit, and head back. There's been
Doesn't sound like manure.
350 years, there's never been a report of the drow raiding parties actually combating each other. At worst, it's the equivalent of, oh darn, they got here before we did. And they've moved on to find other prey. You have heard from the scattered religious presence in this town. Basically, a few of the younger priests, a cleric of Adamantis, which from the vague things you've heard is not too surprising, is very much a weapons and martial type of guy. Yeah. That there are unusual disturbances in, for lack of a better term, the divine sense of things. There's, the divine weave, how clerics get their power and all that, and how paladins do.
In the force.
Something like that. There's an outsider. And it's even an outsider to the gods who technically are outsiders. Your deity and most of the other new gods. They don't recognize there is some faint casting going on delivered by a god or goddess that no one knows. In Janik, as you checked out various haberdasheries and various bars, wonderful thing is, you can't get necessarily the bright tones here. But it turns out they can dye absolutely anything. They know how to alter the pattern and color of metal, of stone. They've actually figured out...
That's what I was just thinking.
If he lets us.
They could actually
Might not have a
even...
choice.
And you actually asked to watch this.
Well, for time,
There is
we
a
would have to back
furnace.
him up, wouldn't we?
Yep.
I would say the equivalent
You might enjoy
size
that before
area
you
of a
get
large
that on.
old school projection
We'll
TV,
let, you know what? We'll let do it.
where they could set a stone like say a ruby or a cracked diamond or something like that. And various alchemical reagents are added, and there's some younger individual, the first time with a half elf, the next time it was a dwarf, they seem to take shifts, that was muttering something. Even you weren't quite certain of the language that they were using. And after about 30 minutes, when they pulled out, for example, the ruby they put in there was a dull vermilion at best, really had no shine to it. Came out almost perfect, egg-sized, 5-star ruby.
Oh, as a random aside, when I went to the armor smith and whatnot, we're gonna have to see about maybe could I bargain with information for a better price. I know a much better blacksmith.
We'll handle that in the thread.
Okay.
But we will say you do have the calling on your armor. Because it'll probably actually matter.
Yeah, because otherwise I would have bought some clothing and for the
The idea.
yes.
And you see them do this to various type of gems. The imperfect, the small, the ones that you would normally see thrown away. They're able, through apparently application of arcane chemistry and magic, to transform into actual viable gems. Now, normally the fact
if she catches wind of this.
they actually have a very faint magical aura to them now. Now, they represent a nugget of crystallized order, but they are very shiny.
Right.
And one of the things you hear them talking about is that they have been running into unusual hand weapons. You know what crossbows are. You've
Yes.
seen large ones, you've seen small ones, you've seen the siege crossbows, mostly the remains of them.
Right.
Even the guard beasts, they had their steam projectile enhanced arrowheads.
And I probably would have heard about them.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
your parents talked about them things. They were a bitch to handle. You had to get it close and then get past the armor. But they were slow. What you hear is essentially sounds like someone has managed to miniaturize a crossbow and give it the same distance and penetrating capacity of a large handheld model.
I have a light crossbow myself, so.
In real world terms, this thing is about the size of a 9mm.
Impressive.
And it is carved from a wood none of them have ever seen. They import almost all their wood, so they've seen a lot of different types. But they've got no idea what this stuff is. It is somehow, it has the stiffness and tension within it to actually hold the spring, but it still feels spongy.
Ew.
Fascinating.
And in your case, you've overheard all sorts of bitching and complaining about how the prices are being driven up, how certain trade carriers are starting to not show up here. They're going further down the mountain range, and it's starting to impact their profits. The merchants, as you've been, picking their pockets here and there, have even been there's been talk about hiring mercenaries or ex-soldiers to try and find out what the hell's been going on and route this shit.
Job opportunities.
Melona's heard similar things as she's gotten into a couple bar fights with some guys who have been spending what little money they've been making, getting drunk and bitching. Same with Trav's character. I'm forgetting his name. Frax.
It's because he's a straight man. Because he's a straight man, he's forgettable.
Except that he's a orc.
Just came out of
Half orc.
But still,
Yeah,
Means
pretty much.
it's-
he's bigger than any of us.
Yeah. He is the tallest person in the party now.
Yeah. Everyone else is fairly on the short side. I think you two are the next tallest at average male and female height. You're slightly shorter, and then dwarf. Then there's Marcus, which depends on how he's standing that day. Could be hunched over because of a hangover. Could be
Regardless, he's still a half elf, half dwarf. So he's short.
He's short for an elf.
He's a shelf.
He's at the lower end of the medium range.
Short elf. Shelf.
Yes, he's a elf. We can use him to store things.
Except you don't want to ever touch it where it's been.
Yeah, we don't want. Demea doesn't want to touch Marcus, okay?
Much to his chagrin. He keeps trying.
Yeah, but you know what? She doesn't know where he's been.
He doesn't know where he's been sometimes.
This is a very strange question regarding your ability to change dye and pattern anything. Have you tried morphic tattoos?
It gave you an address.
Excellent, thank you.
They count a few silver coin. You pay for the right to watch. What's a few silver here and there?
Then I got one.
Yep.
Because why not?
Cost you 2 gold.
Okay.
I'm just letting you know.
It's
And basically, treat it like a cantrip. You can change color and shape. Unfortunately, it's somewhat simple because you only do a single solid color, but the pattern's far more variable. You've got 3 programmed in, so to speak, with room for 10. Take an hour, treat it as a ritual. You can add and subtract.
My chest is fractal.
So who finds that out
Like-
first?
probably Janaea.
That's only slightly less disturbing than seeing through the top half of the skull.
It's actually a lot less disturbing than seeing the top half of
Yeah.
his skull.
I see the top half of my skull all the time. It's just only forward.
We found out that, his brain is not normal.
It's not just
And
a.
this is surprising why.
Well, they were at least.
Lobo.
They were expecting a normal physiology at least.
Yes. We were expecting your brain to look like anyone else's.
Yeah, I know,
brain
it's
when we look
trifurcated.
at it. Which, now makes... Well, that explains a lot.
So, everyone at some point meets up, say early evening, back at the hotel. You've gotten your armor, you've gotten your tattoo, and no doubt a fabulous arrangement of clothing.
Because you're fabulous.
There we are.
Well, he's a dandy.
My, you did quite well.
Than Marcus.
Alright.
Add 30 gold.
You at least wear clothing,
Yes.
as opposed to Marcus, who
Who wears banana hammock?
and robes when we make him.
Marcus has been unsuccessful thus far in finding a tamed dire goat. He wants an adult, which is the real problem. Most people that have put the effort into taming something that large are not willing to part with it for anything less than an exorbitant amount of money.
And we're all kind of looking at him going, you could get a small one. They grow.
It go.
They don't want to be able to eat the faces of my enemies.
Who are we
Get
kidding?
an adolescent.
Anyway, we have dinner.
Feet squishy.
The bartender, by now, has just grown used to this side of thing. He's only had to, throw something at it once because it wanted to ink behind the bar.
You made me ink.
This one tentacle is shorter than all the rest, but it's still mine.
I'm assuming at this point is when everyone starts discussing the various things they've heard.
Yeah.
So about half hour of people regaling each other with what they've heard so far.
Sorry, I was too busy getting stabbed.
I may have found this a joke.
Excellent.
How fitting.
Yeah, sorry, I was too busy getting stabbed.
That was fitting too for the anime. I thought this was a joke.
Wait. And Milana's just leaning back chair. You made a tattoo, right?
Maybe.
I'll take that. And she's smoking some long wrapped up weed of some kind.
By the way, one of the patterns that he's got with color set is just plain matching his skin.
Because reasons.
Yeah.
He may need to be not as distinguishable. There's a method to his chaos.
It's one that takes the form of chest hair.
No, remember, he's half elf. Half something.
Yeah.
It takes the appearance of just bare chest.
It's a miracle he has to go.
Six-pack abs.
It's a miracle he has to go teeth. And it's thin at that. At least that's how I've always pictured it.
Yeah, pretty much.
If I had $50, I would commission artwork of this group, but I ain't got it. I know the people that could do it. If I wanted to put a pot together, I could talk to the individual. But anyway.
Ooh, my weekly report from Fitbit is not very good.
It's time.
I'm not surprised.
I should get that going.
We shall pause.
Nick. Okay, we're not doing the mannequin challenge.
No, I was thinking lemmings.
Alright. So, what's this about a job? Did you stab someone for it?
No, they freely talk.
Of course, because always you're just such a people person.
Well, they were busy talking to each other. They didn't know I was there. But seems they might be hiring to look into some recent raiding.
A couple of guys I was beating down in a bar were bitching about that too. Apparently there's been a lot more of them lately. Not been getting nearly as much cash.
Well, shall we see if they're willing to part with some of it in order for us to look into things for them?
Oh, sounds like a plan. If we're going to be in the area anyway, we might as well get paid for something.
This is true.
It'll help cover our expenses.
Just a bit. I'm sure you're having no problem covering your own expenses then.
I haven't had too much issues yet.
Oh, of course you haven't.
It's just an old time to negotiate.
Anybody else want to negotiate?
Funny enough, Mirren, that was my response after the sixth person ended up not getting up off the bar floor. Weird currency here too. Who's ever heard of gold coins cut into squares? Apparently they stack better. Odd.
You also don't have to worry about rolls of them rolling away.
Yeah, but do you think
Yes,
of
if
it?
you drop it on the ground, it's just going to drop there, not
Yeah.
roll down the street and off the mountain.
Okay, so there's some logic to it. Fine, fine. Still weird.
It may be easier to palm too, theoretically.
You don't know anything about that.
Absolutely no information.
I might have to try that.
So, do we want to sleep on it, or do we want to go start knocking doors tonight?
They might respond a little better if we wait until it's light out.
We could always fire off the cannon for them.
I think they might have a problem with that.
If we make it ding 8 times first.
And Marcus looks like he's getting an idea.
Oh dear. This is no!
But we can get this started quicker.
No.
It's 7 ticks and then a boom.
No, it was 8.
Tick, tick, boom.
Tick tick boom. Tick 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 boom. 7 ticks.
That was the previous hour. You slept through it.
We could call it daylight savings time.
This sounds like a horrible idea.
Marcus, you've already almost blown yourself up twice. You don't need it to happen again. Not here when you could bring down half of the city.
But wouldn't he make great wadding for the cannon?
You know.
Unfortunately, I can't. Unfortunately, some of us don't have a dragon. I can't. I can't fly. Yeah.
We could fling you off the mountain. You could try to learn before you hit the bottom.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
You could flap your arms really hard.
Yes!
4 rolls of 20.
And then another 20. Divine intervention.
He should have an easier time of it too. He's not wearing full plate.
Although in Janek's case, I would just roll wild magic.
Yeah.
It buoyed him up. And
Now, would
lifted
that
him.
necessarily be in Janek's case or just in Janek's presence?
Yes. Although in this case, it would actually be more cartoon physics. As long as he didn't 100% notice he was flying when he should be able to.
It's simply a matter of throwing yourself to the ground and missing.
Yes.
It's not flying, it's falling with style.
Thank you, Jessica.
Janet certainly can fall with style.
Of course, he's fabulous.
He is the knight, and the knight is fabulous. Alright, so, next morning,
Let's get Sorcerer.
and that's what you hear upon waking up.
Woohoo!
Simply
bad?
Darkwing Duck.
Janek talked in sleep.
Okay.
Why not?
Makes about as much sense as anything else he does sometimes.
Yep, pretty much. To wake up, I cast magic missile at it. Oh, that's not what I thought it was. Thud.
What was it, honey, that you were talking when you were talking to Kim last night?
Oh. So, she's playing a game right now where they decided to do their own variant, and instead of a pyromancer, they were doing an aquamancer. And so I was like, so what do you do? Like, cast water balloon down the hallway? She broke.
It works.
She's playing an Aquamancer, Aqua Regia.
Yeah?
That could be dangerous.
If you expand it from merely water to is it in a liquid state, that could get terrifying quite quickly.
Yes.
Because there's
I cast liquid nitrogen.
You freeze.
let's see, there's a number of acids, both mineral and organic.
Mhm.
There's a number of alkalis that would be like that. She'd be tremendous for any burgeoning oil industry.
Uh-huh. It's kind of like in Shadowrun. Somebody figured out, wait a minute. Clean can actually be a very terrifying spell. I cast Clean. Area about the size of that body. Cast. Guess what? Their hemoglobin no longer carries oxygen.
What are the specifics on the clean spell in Shadowrun? Was it just generic impurities, or is there a specification you make?
It is any form of impurity to clean to a base state of X. And by casting it on a person, that would basically strip the hemoglobin from the blood.
Actually, that would strip a lot of things out of the blood,
Strip
too.
all the bacteria out of the body as well, which...
Uh-huh.
But it would also
You need some of
strip...
that in
But
there.
the big thing is, with the hemoglobin gone, you're going to suffocate. Effectively.
Well, not so much. I wouldn't say it was gone, as I would say it had every single hemoglobin molecule in the human body at that point no longer has oxygen bound to it. So if they got enough in them quickly enough, hyperbaric chamber, they might live.
In the meantime, they've
But
got...
on the streets, that ain't happening.
Yeah,
In the meantime, they've got oxygen bubbles in their bloodstream, too.
So you got nitrogen narcosis variant going on.
uh-huh. Clean is actually a terrifying spell when you really think about it, because at that point, you're resisting with willpower.
Well, if you're a high-level caster,
No, sorry. You're resisting by straight body, because it functions as toxin.
okay, then so a troll would stand a good chance. Or
Yes.
something of a good chance.
Yes.
Poor elf.
Yeah, elf actually doesn't take body hit.
Yeah, but they generally don't have the enhancements. So a lot of them wouldn't have nearly as high a body as an orc or a troll.
Right. Jack's body's 5, which is slightly above average for human. So.
Besides the fact he looks like he hasn't gotten out of the house in a decade because he almost hasn't.
Well, no, he's actually getting out of the house a lot more now. But anyway.
I said almost hasn't. He was 3/4 of the way to hit Kikomori.
Yes.
Anyhow, breakfast is had, Squishy has been fed.
Again.
Funny that, he has to keep eating.
That damn lizard has been booted out of yet another room. And by booted, we mean literally because he was nestled up in the bosom of an orc. She was not pleased.
You may have found this very funny.
Of course, especially when you see a lizard, walking like this.
Because he hit the wall.
And lost his tail again. Getting to the point where he is actively grousing about not bothering to try and grow back.
Maybe he's to it eventually.
Eventually.
And now the question is, Madeira, did you find out where you might actually talk to these merchants? Or are you going to try and randomly have the group walk up to them? Because this is your bag right now. Your idea.
Bag, baby.
This one takes your bag.
Might do my usual slip through the marketplace first, see if I can find anybody grousing about the situation. And then just lead the party to them and make an offer.
They can't refuse?
Or at least
Pretty much because Badira's already stolen the contract and written and forged the signature.
Yeah.
Or
Just
rather,
finish.
stole the contract and had Janik forge the signature.
Yeah, that's pretty much the way it would work, wouldn't
I
it?
think we can both pull that off because we're both charlatans, right? Just initial here to indicate that we signed for it.
I've got, a cleric to witness it as, having been done.
Right?
Or at least a former one.
No, I witness myself. I'm in it.
Alright,
But I
let's
would have
see.
found us another one to do it.
Give me an investigation check.
Investigate.
Investigate. Or something. You sure you don't want to go with intimidation?
That would mean you'd actually have to be visible. However, since they don't necessarily know you're there, I'll give you advantage because they wouldn't know, to be guarded about anything.
Yes.
Yeah, 20.
Well,
The answer is yes.
yes. Actually, what you end up overhearing from a couple of the, the gophers is that
Small furry gravel, isn't it?
Yes.
no, that's what Marcus is trying to talk to right now. Only he's finding out they don't have gophers, they have rock snakes.
So he needs to speak parcel tongue?
Yes.
Rock snake sounds dirty.
Everything sounds dirty if you say it correctly.
Rock snakes.
Oysters.
Hey, I Kevin my coworkers, okay?
And he was proud.
He was.
Anyway, you overhear them is that they have rented out a meeting hall at the northeastern end of town. And that's actually closer to one of the few flat areas.
Flat house?
Oh. No, actually, this one is more octagonal. But they rented out a meeting hall, and there's going to be 8 representatives, basically the most powerful merchants here. There's not an official merchants guild, but there's the usual unofficial, you watch my back and I'll watch yours, and we'll all
Coexist.
and make certain the market favors us. They'll be meeting there right around lunchtime.
That's funny. We'll make sure the market favors us.
Yeah. Market always favors us.
Well, fortune favors the bold and the foolish. You got both. Boldly foolish. Foolishly bold. Fold.
The collection is spleens.
No. Foaling is what happens when you have a horse that's pregnant.
Yes.
I said fold, not
Yes.
fold.
Fold. F-O-L-D.
F-O-A-L-D. Fold.
Actually, I think there's...
Conceded.
Actually, there is. I just
To the Octagon House. Perfect.
Building, meeting, whatever.
Place.
Now, for the first time since you've come to Fortuna, you're actually seeing, ground flat that's not just a street.
sorry, just fortunate, not unfortunate.
It looks like for all the world, based upon the way the rock's laying and everything, Mirren's comment is that this was either probably the result of someone mining too deep or a natural fissure that just got filled in over the centuries. Let's go figure. Dwarf. No, just don't understand it.
They mine too deep.
Hopefully they didn't release anything.
Yes.
Well, the dwarves haven't yet.
They released the Kraken.
We are nowhere near the ocean.
We have to
Release
skip-
the smacking.
I'll
We
do
have-
that. Jeremy keeps punning like he does.
No kidding. Holy crap. I mean, we're bad.
But
He's
Jeremy's
getting worse than us combined.
It's like he's trying to compensate for something.
I know.
He's catching up, or trying to catch up.
Or
He said
maybe-
mustard.
Anyway,
No, at this point, I think he's kind of slipping down towards relish.
Oof.
I'll give you. I've backed off somewhat.
well, yeah, because he's taking all of the puns.
Yeah.
Although I did hit you, smack you with the sexual predator,
That was great.
which
Along with
yeah.
whipping my hair back and forth.
So show up about 20 minutes before, noon. And you see these guys in various levels of, resplendent robes and the usual gaudy look at me, I am rich type of wear. Which in this area means they actually have bright colors. We're not quite talking, the eye-gouging neon. Although one comes close, and Janik, you're trying to figure out how they got a shade of red that bright because you've not run into any dye that does that.
It's a really hot pink.
I know what it is. I know how they did it. I believe so. They blend something dry, cast continual light on the blood, and then use it as a dye.
Morbid.
And right, isn't it?
Out of character? No. They did actually use a spell to pull it off, though. And it's a spell you can buy.
No.
I don't know if I should do that one.
Show me.
That was the
Surely he's
Serious?
serious.
She was, I think, in the bathroom at the time.
No, the question is, are you going in there, bigger in life and bold as brass, or are you sending Madeira in?
We actually want them to hire us, which means they kind of need to know we're here. If
Yeah.
we send Madeira in, they're not going to know we're here.
Yes.
Well, Madeira can still go in her usual way and just be ready to make sure the contracts are signed.
Now, the second question is, do you actually want to overhear any more details before you pick this up?
Probably.
Or are you
yes.
going to do the usual?
No, we would like a few more details.
Just a few.
Alright. So, dear, you sneak in. Fortunately, they have lots of internal lighting, which means lots of shadows. Because there's no modern full spectrum lights here, there's just little globes of continuous light.
Which means I can make the entire circuit around the room multiple times without trouble.
So you head down and you peek into some of the other rooms here. In one case, you're staring at 9 dwarves trying to, figure out the best path to get back to their ancestral mine. You head to another room. There's a couple wizards who are, 3/4 of the way to pulling out stabs and dueling each other. They're arguing about some arcane theory regarding the multiverse and all that nonsense.
Janik might definitely find that interesting.
Then there's room on your left where you peek in and you quickly leave. there are things you don't ever want to actually see done with glue.
Kinky.
And finally, you come across the room where they've all entered. Oh, hollow out chamber, I'd say about 10 by 12. Table in the middle, carved out of stone. It's actually rather nice. I think marble with, it's primarily black with veins of red shot through it. Occasional bronze sparkle. Sparkles! You know, a couple containers of water, some bread, some cheese. They're munching. And the first man to start up is... You're not entirely certain if he's fat or if he is just that stoutly built. He's got such voluminous robes on him, and they're all animal. There's no woven fabric here. It's all pelts of various kinds that have been sewn together, dyed, and treated, and all whatnot.
They've pelted him.
I was wondering who had pelted him, and for what reason.
Did they not like him?
I don't
Or
know.
did they like him very much?
Maybe both. They're ambivalent.
And this is commentary that's going on after Madeira is reporting.
Yes.
Yep.
Basically, what I'm saying is what Madeira is telling after she snuck in.
Yes.
And hasn't shaved in a few days. Disdaining the food and everything. Alright. Gentlemen. And, well... Jarvis. Is this reedy looking half-elf. He looks like he could do with about, 3 days of sleep, 4 sandwiches, and a tailor.
And some coffee.
Well, always
Having
coffee.
this weird flashback. Discussion with somebody like that. I was pacing around like a small kid.
Core. This is these raids, I don't particularly care who's fighting who with it. The fact of the matter is that they are increasing, and they have finally reached the limits on what the insurers are willing to actually cover. It's actually costing us money. Does anyone happen to have a brilliant idea besides hire some random people? I mean, honestly, you're really
I
gonna...
have a cunning plan.
Hire some random people!
We're random people, hire us!
A plan that cannot fail.
And various ideas that actually do get bandied about. A couple of them, contact the Maesters Wizardly, see if they've got a few people that would be willing to come out for the proper coinage or proper raw materials.
The Bastion of Board! Bastion of Board!
And put up wards and force shields and shit like that at various points along the way. I mean, who cares if they get out elsewhere? If you can keep away from the caravans long enough, it doesn't matter. The second thing might be to actually... One guy's got this obsession with building...
A wall?
No, but he has this obsession with building armored carts that follow an inbuilt path from point A to point B, powered by engines similar to what the guard beasts used during the war. Because you can put a lot of metal plate on there, and they travel at far higher speed than horses or ponies or donkeys or anything else would in these mountains. Which can once again get shot down when it's pointed out that they'd have to foot the bill.
They'd have to foot the bill, and, well, we've also started running across roaming twist zones.
Which is considered a rumor. They have dismissed those claims.
Have they now?
Yes, they have. And finally,
I invert my talent.
we will get to that point. So another 20 minutes of various ideas bandied about. There's even talk of fully funding the local constables to actually, be able to do their job, as opposed to the hangers-on and those rare individuals who actually believe in justice and order doing the job. Essentially, the good cops that hang on despite the low pay and the inadequate resources. That immediately gets shot down by Jarvis because, namely, where would they get half of the shit they have if they didn't have his underground connections? And so finally, alright, Almas, fine. You've shot down every idea we've had. and it's just this older-looking human. He looks almost distinguished, but it's that trying too hard distinguished.
Gotcha.
Forced airs. If there's nothing else, then we just will have to hire mercenaries. None of you have any creative spark, do you? I don't hear you doing any better. Quiet, Jarvis. Fine, I will put the word out. We will get the town criers out. We might even put up a few signs at the bars. There's bound to be some schmuck down on their luck who thinks they're good with a
We'll
sword.
catch the criers at the door, and we'll turn them right back around and say, "Oh, look what they found!"
Yeah.
Outside the door is these two individuals, a couple of pair of dwarves, fairly young for dwarves, being what, 80? And they're heading out, and there's things going, what do they think this actually going to do? People here have their jobs, they have their families. They're not going to go out and randomly, and that's when they walk right into Braz. Here you're looking to hire people. We want to be hired.
We're in the market, as it were.
And you hear the voice from behind him. How many people are in there?
You don't want to know.
And that's when they look around and finally see the rest of the party.
When they hear a woman's voice.
Hello.
just fingers from the shadows.
Sticking out of the llama.
No, because he doesn't have long enough fur right now. And I don't think we've brought him with us anyway.
No, we had to leave him at the stables because they didn't want him wandering through the city.
Kicking people and spitting at them.
Yeah.
And getting in arguments with local horses.
Because Frank.
And winning.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Frank would actually try maybe pick a fight with a tired goat and he'd lose that one. He hasn't leveled enough yet.
Yeah.
The
So,
reason Marv wanted
My
to do this
llama
is
has
because
levels.
yes.
llamas have.
I actually have his stats and I've been tracking them.
Llamas are like onions.
No. It's just ruffled beverages. Llamas have levels.
Llamas have ruffles and levels. These are just short right now. So, right. How many are there?
6.
Well, 7 with Malona.
Yes. Well, yes.
Who? And he just looks and sees a woman slapping a man who is solid blue. But that happened to be the drow slapping a blue man with a lizard on his head.
Yes, that is the Dom and the Sep.
We'll let you figure out which one's which, because it might not be obvious.
That is the blue one is a druid. I promise.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Aren't they supposed to be, wise and,
Not
respect?
in this case.
He looks
We
kind
should really get him tie-dyed.
He looks kind of creepy too. What's with the skull staff?
He's odd.
He is, however, assuredly a druid.
Right.
I mean, he's got a lizard. And there's a bear outside the gates that he named Cuddles. He's even got a cornopus.
And there's all of us have the cornopus, but he has a snake.
Yes, he does have a snake.
Right.
A lot of times it's
Mind your head. And he points at the barbarians. This way. And you're walking by. You see the 9 dwarves. They've descended to drinking and fighting. That's what they do.
Worse.
You can feel magical discharges as you go walk by one room, and you hear arguing in Elvish. Look, there cannot be an infinite number of worlds. There cannot be an infinite number of planes.
There are!
The buildup of magical energy just hangs in the air for a moment.
And I channel the sorcery point through my ability at that point, but not to stabilize. I'm not trying to hold the point of normality.
Magic.
I'm trying to snap it.
Give me a roll.
Tickle the magic!
Shows on the ley line where the sorcerer touched you.
Shows on the doll where Hadrian touched you. Rip. I did that and got karma for it on the way, come on. With the comment of, you sick bastard. From Hadrian.
So how far do you have to rip the doll and find its soul?
Oh, I just ripped over the head of the doll and stuck my finger in.
You do a lot of that, do you?
A friend of mine and I
Sometimes.
took a Elmo soul out.
That's a
We
15.
were sitting in a room, so we put it in a coffee mug.
Unmodified 15.
Unmodified 15, alright. Now, roll me just a d20.
Okay. Find out what happens with it.
I want to see if magic triggers for destabilizing. Is it destabilized or destabilized?
I just kept walking.
That's
I
a
didn't want to
17.
be 12 again.
Okay, reality warps just a bit. The continuous light globes flicker, change color for a moment, and then it settles. In the room, on the other hand, all you hear as you just keep walking is, "Why do I have breasts?"
And I just keep going. Like nothing's happened.
Actually, if I hear that, I'd be, oh, you'll get used to them.
Ooh, I tasted turquoise.
Yep, just keep going.
And you just see her dropping whatever she was smoking with this disgusted look at it now.
Oh dear, it's got nothing to do with what you were smoking.
Chantrix.
No. There are certain things I never wanted to know how they tasted. I will leave it at that.
Oh,
And they lead you to the doorway.
Well, they can no longer dismiss the wandering twist zones.
Well, the wizards never are. You don't know the wizards are arguing it. The other ones don't know about it yet.
Right, well,
they will.
So,
will.
and they get ready to open the door, and Braz instead grabs the door, slams it open as hard as he can, and knocks it off the hinges.
This is how an entrance is made.
Thank you. Just
And he bows.
walk past him, just calmly, like this happens all the time.
Who the
Hold the
hell?
symbol out. Watch your mouth.
The deer will step out of her shadow at this point.
And then behind comes a drow.
This is tiefling in full armor. Pull the symbol out.
Do you have your helmet off?
Yes.
So behind the tiefling in full armor, who is at least a cleric, comes a drow, cracking her knuckles and looking at the door. A druid who is telling his lizard to please get in a bag right now. A impeccably, if flamboyantly dressed half drow at least. You popped out of the shadows right next to the bread and cheese.
Ooh, jeez.
And then finally ducking, really ducking, comes the
dead.
massive half-orc.
And the dwarf. Who did not have to duck.
Nope.
Trying to
And
stand
tags
on
along.
tiptoes to look like she's ducking.
With a granola bar.
And all they hear from outside the doorway, well, we have petitioners for the job. We're going to lunch. Excuse us. Scurry. Faintly down the hallway. Stop grouping those!
The boobs are the axes.
Yes!
That's what Brad says.
Actually, right now,
Yes.
it might be both.
Yes.
The axe boobs.
God damn it, Rose. I'm just picturing the axe boob.
Well, Rose was one of those, did get to the point where she was ripping off parts of herself and eating them in front of people.
Yeah. So. All right. So we have a holy tea, right? Okay.
I'm a paladin, thank you.
It's still holy.
I'm a tiefling shadow.
Anyway, Almas is just rubbing his head. What? Okay, so you made an entrance. That's fine. I respect that. Rather dramatic, flashy, showy. So I'm assuming somehow you overheard those two talking on the way out.
You could say that.
Yeah.
And Jarvis
On the
is
way
just
out.
looking at Madeira. And there's that little nod of, well done.
Well, you know, I could have been in here.
She has a valid point. You know tieflings don't have predictability yet. No, I didn't, but thank you.
She's just standing there looking very regal and, you know.
So what do you know about what's going on? Or are we gonna have to spend, time explaining?
Oh no, we don't need an explanation.
So,
You need hired hands. We're hands for hire.
alright. So now, any launches into the full explanation of what they're asking, they have a map of where the last 10 attacks have occurred in the past 2 weeks.
This will be useful.
And I'm explained that normally 10 attacks occur over the course of a year. This is not just an increase. This is an almost exponential increase.
Quite the incursion.
What?
The most recent one occurred 2 days ago, half a day's ride out.
I
And
think Marva's getting bored.
the other thing is, normally they only end up actually just taking items, usually food or raw materials, occasionally a magical good if it happens to be on there, no matter how well protected it is. And this is when one of the individuals pipes up with, it's not like any of us are willing to invest in the proper safeguards. That would be too expensive now, wouldn't it? We never needed to before. Anyway, what we want, obviously we want them eliminated, but we'd also really like to know what's caused this. How are they appearing so suddenly? We know most of the entrances to the Undermountain. We've got them mapped. But they're coming out of places where nothing should be there. In fact, when we've gone out there has been no entryway, no cavern, not even a fissure that some incredibly athletic individual might squeeze through.
The pistons allow for such things.
There are magic spells allowed for such things.
And-
Sure, it's possible.
Magic, certainly, but unfortunately, we can't tell. And then, again, well, wizards are expensive.
They're also incredibly dull.
I know. Not the we've been to the Bastion of Warring. We understand.
We met the
What?
we met
The Bastion of Warring,
The Minister of Mundane.
led by Minister Mundane. He preferred Archmage something, but Minister Mundane. fit
Oh,
far better.
you mean the wizard's tower, right?
Yes, the Bastion of Warring.
Right. And as far as twist stones, they don't form anymore. There was a wartime consequence.
Are you quite certain?
Those are not exactly things that, just get up and walk about.
Giggling.
Are you quite certain?
Are you quite certain? Quite.
And Jarvis is just heading back to the edge of the room.
No,
He's
you.
the spiral.
And she just pointed at you. Here.
I've not stayed alive this long.
Come.
Listen to that.
Here.
You're planning something.
No, I was to show you something.
I was just wondering, what color are the lights supposed to be out in the hallway?
Yes, yes.
White is what they're.
Come here, come here, come here, come here.
And Jarvis and Almas is.
And she will grab Jarvis's arm and just,
All right.
and she will lead him to the doorway.
All right.
And there's a rave in the hallway.
I suspected with something.
No, and come here, come here.
And Almas is trying to
Do you
peer
know-
around.
Do you know who was in this room here?
No, actually, I've been here most of the morning.
But when you came through, what voices did you hear from this room?
A couple of male voices. I don't know. Wasn't paying
And she
attention
will
to them.
open the damn door.
Stop fondling those!
And what you see is older wizard who is now sporting a rather impressive sunburn, and this, well, now it's a female half-elf, who is definitely pawing through a spell book with several pins holding a robe closed.
You said there were 2 men in here.
And what goes on in the octagon, none of my business.
You should put it on it. Are you a man or a woman?
I'll let you know when I fix the problem.
Did you do this intentionally?
No!
So you were
What
a
did you
man.
say
The
happened
problem
here?
is fixed.
What? Tell them what you believe happened here.
Well, there was obviously a magical misfire. I was attempting polymorph.
Well, that seems to have worked.
Yes, right.
Congratulations.
Not the polymorph I meant.
Oh, you're
Well-
trying to polymorph other.
Yes.
And not into a woman?
No.
Well, it still worked, sort of. You did polymorph something, it just happened to be yourself into a woman. Which was not what you intended at all, but it's very interesting.
Who are you people? Can you just close the door? I'm trying. And the other
Oh,
one
sorry,
is
I am
just-
Janik, Sorcerer's go down. I left the alarm at the gates. Frank.
And the guy with a sunburn who is pulling out, some kind of poultice from a sack. Yes, thank you, sorcerer. You have a llama.
Yes.
Very impressive. Now,
You.
could you accede to my colleague's request and close the door?
You, it'll wear off eventually, just don't poke at it. You, go see a cleric. That's going to blister.
This is to keep it from blistering long enough to find one in this town.
I close the door.
Actually, before he closes the door, I'll just poke the guy.
No, he didn't care if you were still in there or not. He closes the door.
I can lay on hands. I can lay on hands.
Fuck!
I don't even have to heal him that much to get rid to
No.
stop it from blistering. So, poke. There. Just put a balm on that. And walk out the door.
And last
Still
thing
holding that guy's arm.
And last thing he hears the door closes again. Was that a tiefling paladin? I don't care! I have breasts! Can you help me out here?
I told you, it'll wear off eventually.
Whether it's tomorrow or another
10 years
200
from now.
years.
Anyway, so do you lead them back in?
Yes, we'll take them back.
So Jarvis has been dragged along, almost tagged along.
Because, frankly, that guy's not getting away from the man.
And right, okay, you're some kind of magical mutant, right?
Excuse me.
He was pointing at Janik.
He's not a mutant.
I don't think. I'm not quite sure what that was.
He's apparently tied to twist zones. I call it a little bit different than what most sorcerers are. But, demonstration accepted. I was wrong. Couple of gasps. Shut up.
It just pat his cheek. Don't worry, accept me.
And it's this game.
She just gives him this look that's just daring him to argue.
It ain't worth it. And Jarvis, you're close enough to him. Actually, give me a perception roll.
He thinks he may not be all he appears to be.
Ooh, granola.
15.
There's nothing visually that's throwing you off, but there's just this sense that what you're supposed to be touching would be, thin, sallow skin, slightly unclean clothing. We're not like sopping, filthy, attracting flies, but it hasn't been washed in a few days. You know what that clothing feels like. You're getting
It's happening.
none of that.
John Oliver did it again.
The net neutrality thing?
Exactly the same thing happened that he did last time he did a segment. The FCC site has crashed.
I approve. I approve so hard.
For fun. Because channel divinity. Since it requires no real casting. Something's off. I'm already holding his arm. Dispel magic.
Give me that spellcaster roll.
I'm not sure how it's supposed to roll as a channel divinity.
Yeah, let me go ahead and let me see what the paladin.
I have
At
that.
the very least, it's going to be spell level plus
Proficiency plus.
proficiency plus your.
Yeah, it says it would be a spell attack. It is your proficiency bonus plus your charisma modifier.
But he is not expecting it.
It's still resistance. You're basically attempting to overcome whatever spell there is, if there is
So
one.
you're trying to beat his DC.
That's all it is. No, he's not expecting it. He doesn't know it. But the magic still has a defense.
It doesn't cast as per the spell. Then. Most of that stuff. He should be rolling a save, not me rolling an attack.
Well, I need to know what the save needs to be.
Probably your spellcaster level.
Spell
Gonna
save
be
is
her
8
cast-
plus proficiency plus
It's going to be her
charisma.
caster level.
Charisma or wisdom? Because
As a paladin, it's charisma.
fuck. Actually, it's only 1 point difference and stuff.
And it's wonderful thing about a tiefling bonus.
So that's 3 plus caster level.
No, it's just 8 plus proficiency plus charisma mod.
Okay.
So 11 plus proficiency is what, 2 at this point or 3?
3.
Does spell level factor in on that?
So 14.
Not as far as this goes.
Okay.
What was it, 15? For a moment, it flickers. For a moment, you can almost feel that divine push go through and start unraveling it, but it snaps back.
What if I do something to distract him while I'm doing that?
Good question.
I have a tail. They don't realize this.
You can stroke the back of his neck or something.
I could. Yes.
Do you?
Yes.
All right. I'll give him disadvantage on that one. Gonna blow another one?
Why not? I don't use channel divinity very often, so I really don't.
Tons of
Ow! No, it
didn't matter.
You don't need to. There was a 1.
Oh, I was
Crit
very
failed.
distracted.
I was really not expecting that.
I want to know what's going on. And well, trickster deity.
So I'm assuming you're done.
Has
No, he
anybody
didn't.
actually
I
recognized the
didn't
holy
borrow that
symbol?
from him.
Not that you've
No,
noticed so
they-
far, but they haven't really been paying attention to
Oh,
that.
yes.
This guy might now.
There's been so much other weirdness going on that your holy symbol is not really that much of a
Jarvis
focus.
might look at it now.
Oh yes, I do have a holy symbol now. I did tell you I was going to buy
Yeah,
Yes,
one.
what is it though?
Arian.
It's it's one of the holy symbols variant. It's probably a flask.
Let me. Actually, that's right.
Probably actually, Harriet, it's probably a flask and a compass.
Actually, I've got the deities list here. Flask and coin.
Okay.
So either one of them.
A coin in a flask.
Mine
Ship
is
in a bottle.
the
Fountain.
egg with the dragon's eye.
Yep. Dragon hatching from an egg. So, what happens? The spell dissipates, and this random sparking, and it's like an electrical transformer grounding out. It immediately grounds itself to you,
Ow.
changes your hair color.
What?
Roll me a d20, tell me what it is.
That's the box of d6s. I can't roll a d20 with that.
No.
You can try, but it might be difficult.
You could do 4d6 minus 4.
Yes, but that potentially loses the chance to be a 1.
It does. Well,
Or
you
0, which would be epic fail.
16.
Congratulations, your hair is now bright green.
That's actually actually rather fetching with their clothing.
And you're staring at something no one has seen in this continent for over a century. Full high elf.
Except for us.
True, but the last high elf you saw was a blacksmith, a lit, and a scribe. But this one is in the full regalia.
You know, it's funny.
No wonder
I know
who's
it-
dodging us.
I'm
At
looking
least you're not a lit.
it just, you know, it's funny. I know a fellow who looks remarkably like you, only much, well, more.
Also one that looks, a lady that looked a lot like you, except a lot less.
And is now, well,
And she wasn't lit.
yes, a lit.
And he's looking at the rest of the group. Is there any one of you that actually maintaining a standard coherent pattern of thought for longer than 5 minutes? I'm
Yes.
curious.
The dwarf.
No.
Yeah, no, she does. She
Yes,
does.
but
Granola.
the Maya, actually, her pattern of thought is quite coherent. She just
To those who
serves a
think like
trickster.
her.
And the rest of them have...
If he will look, her holy symbol is like right here.
Right in the cleavage.
As
She's
he's,
wearing armor. It's just sitting on the chest piece of the armor.
I'm working on drawing it. So he steps back. He somehow managed to just snake his arm out, steps back, full composure. The other 7 individuals in the room that
Well, no,
pulled...
she wouldn't have let go because she was gesturing.
It's a combination of shock and they're reaching for various, daggers and short
Oh,
swords.
put those down.
If Demea just pulls the mace out.
There's no.
Don't make me use this.
Just put those down. You've been working with him for how long already? And you've just now noticed that. Put those down. There's no need. He hasn't changed who he is.
This is what he looks like.
The unusual individual is indeed correct. So was there any particular reason for
I don't like
this?
when people play tricks on me.
Funny, considering who your deity is, I would expect this to be a tit-for-tat situation.
Yes, but that's me, not them.
Ah, yes, holy hypocrisy. I'm familiar with it.
Excuse me? You know, I do happen to know a blacksmith who would have probably have very little problem squashing you flat.
This is, of course, assuming that the individual could reach me. But there is absolutely no need for any sort of grand posturing or threats or such like this. Well, there is no
Friend
need.
posturing.
And he strikes an even grander pose.
Demea smacks both of them in the back of the head.
And he just keeps arms akimbo and full of.
You know what would have been
Jarvis
funny?
dodges.
His hair change color each time you smacked him.
Yes, did his hair change color when I popped him in the head?
Whimsy die check.
I guess it would depend on whether it was a divine smack to the back of the head.
It's a paladin. It's always divine smack to the back of the head.
Roll me another d20.
19.
You are now golden yellow. It's not blonde, it's not honey blonde, no, it is golden yellow.
Oh, that's
No one released doves.
solar hair.
I don't know why I said that, but no one released doves. It might break my nose.
That looks even better with those clothes.
Glorious solar hair.
Yes!
Gloria's flowing locks technique.
And every time he shakes his head like this, there's a breeze blowing his hair
This is the
back.
point where the druid pulls out the rabbit and goes, I shake my hair back and forth.
And Demea really smacks him in the head.
Ow!
Jay actually just popped.
Jarvis dodged.
Yes. But then he got elbowed.
Fair. You felt the chainmail beneath the robe when you did that.
But it's still an elbow from someone in armor.
Yeah, so it's a temporary oof.
Don't do that.
Anyway, so wonderful. Now you individuals know my grand secret, at least one of them. And you unusual individuals,
Don't care.
I suppose you should. I suppose it
No,
was inevitable
he's
you wouldn't
right.
show up.
He doesn't care. Neither do I.
Hmm.
And why was it inevitable?
Oh, surely you don't think you haven't actually... Word of individuals matching descriptions hasn't spread across this half of the continent.
So they keep telling me.
And that inevitably, whenever there is some sort of unusual trouble, you show up a short time later. Which leads me to also believe you are not the cause of it, you are simply reacting to it.
See?
That's
Okay.
what the best of Boring said as well.
Yes.
And then there's also something to be said for the fact that there is no doubt some degree of divine intervention, considering you have a paladin, a tiefling paladin. By the way, congratulations!
Oh, thank you.
How are the second generation doing?
Quite.
When my family and some individuals were responsible for helping
Havarti!
push their application through.
Ah.
Ah, yes.
Oh, you
Cheese
might. And she'll just kind of look over in the shadows.
Has he shown up today?
No, not for Badira. They know Badira is here somewhere.
No, Badir is actually visible right now.
Yes.
And not only has he showed up, this is just when what looks like an overlarge shadow on the wall just fades. It looks like black and white, then grayscale, and then the standard color. You recognize your father anywhere. That, the standard craggy, slightly like concrete sandstone skin,
Well, and just
ridges.
look at. We'll ask.
I throw a piece of cheese at him.
He catches it,
I expected as much.
and he throws a bottle of agave liquor at you.
I catch it.
No, you don't. Roll! Death roll!
Roll.
Oh. That was not as good as I was
I
hoping.
get proficient. I get proficiency on things. 16 plus 8 and 3.
He gets it.
I'll take a drink.
Give me a con roll.
Demea, however, will just kind of walk over there and grab it with her tail.
This
No.
is gonna be funny. 9.
So you get one sip and then it's yanked. The world spins for a moment.
I will, however, take a drink, and this is what she grew up with.
So give me a con roll with advantage.
That's a 19. Or do I need to roll again?
You can roll again, but you're still going to take the highest.
Okay, I'm going to take the 19.
Then what's your... You're going to beat a 20. You're fine. You cough a little bit. It's fresh.
Every so often, Badira likes to see what Janek and the dwarf experience. Or might
Actually,
experience.
for the most part, we're doing quite well. I'm glad you're proud. I'm glad you're proud of my daughter. She is rather remarkable. Apparently, she has managed to achieve paladinhood from a deity that we were not aware of actually having created such things. Her deity is, well, she has her own way. I will put it that way. Not willing to
you
cast
could put it that
aspersions.
way.
Anyhow, don't mind me at all. I'm just, I'm just a shadow, and I know things. And he fades to grayscale, then black and white, and shadow again.
He's nice.
She's totally
And here, right behind you. Yes, I am. And that thought through your head. So that's what that feels like. I'm the dusk. Right.
Not quite as dark as the night.
And the other 7 have just sat down by this point. They are being left behind and not knowing what's going on. And the level of skill and obvious firepower on display here, any one of them might actually be, might actually even have the thought of making an aggressive motion is being, put down by their own sense of self-preservation. Especially with Brad just walking around, casually making certain he's lifting the shield. It looks like he could serve a dinner for 6 on it.
As Janek's just munching on cheese.
We have our own brute squad.
I see.
You would
And
disappear into the shadow long enough to reappear next to the guy in pelts and offer him a piece of cheese.
So, do we have the job?
Well, I'd say yes. Actually, there's a bit more information I suppose you would actually want to know, because I was going to handle this in my other guise, but now I'm going to have to set up a new persona. And I suppose it was getting a little dull around here anyway. I've been doing it for 40 years. You, of all people, I'm sure understand the problem of boredom.
That is quite boring.
The real issue you have to understand is I've not been able to track down the full depth of this myself. There has been a schism between the three major Drow cities. There is a fourth faction involved.
Oh dear.
As I said, I've not been able to discover anything more. I was actually hoping to get reports back. And for said information, I would of course be willing to pay above and beyond what they are offering for the contract.
Oh, lovely.
We might be able to do some digging.
Hopefully not too much. The mountain range can be unstable at times. And almost just is massaging his head as he's eating an herb cheese ball. Alright. So, all of you... Then we can do a standard pay rate, or we can do a flat sum with a bonus.
Well, how much were you planning on giving to those constables? Oh, wait. Sorry.
Oh, we were actually... And then one guy's like, well, we were actually considering raising them up to at least 50 gold a month and not making them buy their own equipment.
50 gold a month? I think we could handle that. 50s?
Of course, please.
So only 50 gold a month times 7.
Well, yes, and of course
Minimum
we keep
retainer of 6 months.
and we keep anything we find.
Yes.
Oh, and almost like, well, that's standard. This is what you mercenary adventurer types do. And then Jarvis. Now, on top of that, if you can bring back information regarding the schism between the three cities, I would happily pay you 1,000 gold each. If you can bring back physical evidence of this fourth faction, I will double that. If you bring back an actual representative, living and able to talk and discuss, no severe mental damage that can hamper
I
them.
can fix that.
So you want me not to talk to them?
That might be wise. That poor girl.
But it was so much fun.
For said individual in a state that will enable them to be questioned properly,
I told you I can fix anything they do.
I am
course I could.
clarifying. I've dealt with adventurer types before. I've even dealt with explorer tours, which tells you how old he is. Because that was the term Devin used.
It's like, you didn't happen to know any blacksmiths, would you?
I knew several blacksmiths in my time.
Big guy,
Yay tall.
Research lab, located blah.
bald,
Did you ever
tattoos,
the
Warhammer.
location?
Oh, wait. Bald, muscular, obsessed with materials.
Yes,
Oh my, did he survive?
we found him.
In a fashion.
Where? I've been trying to track him down for
He was in a
decades.
room of slow. Well, a hallway of slow. Or a suite of slow.
It was a suite of slow.
Suite of
Sweet and
slow.
slow. You had to go down the hallway to.
The
You had
hallway
to
slow
go into the
is-
room of slow and down the hallway
Way
of
of
slow
slow to the
the
suite of
workshop of slow.
Yes.
And it takes them about 3 seconds. Ah, so undoubtedly you broke into your research facility, which unfortunately apparently went off grid, and no doubt some of the
Yes,
security
thanks to,
systems tripped.
thanks to your
Technically, we
head
didn't break
of
in.
said research.
Oh, that I was not directly involved, but there was such a big deal made about it, you couldn't help but hear about the information
First
at
of
the time.
all,
Wait,
she
Oh,
was
what-
trying to become a lich.
but she didn't succeed. She only became a lit.
Oh, that poor woman. Wonder what twisted her that much.
Oh, we
That
know.
being said,
The dagger in your spleen.
there is a...
No, the floor tile to her head.
Since this will be my last night in the city under this my old persona, which he shifts back to for a moment, And you recognize similar earrings, at least, but in a more masculine style to what Duval had. And then it's just back. I would love to hear details over dinner. My treat. Even enough for your rather large individual there. Menacing individual, too.
I can tell you that she did me a very, very just end.
I'm not certain if I should say I look forward to hearing about the details, but I am intrigued. Now, that being said, to finish the terms of the contract, for said living cogent individual, I will pay, on top of the previous pay from the other two options, I am authorized and able to pay 4,000 gold each.
So that would be a total of 6,000.
Yes,
Per.
assuming you bring back, say,
No,
Representative
7.
Cole.
1,000?
2,000.
2,000.
4,000.
That's 7.
That's 6. No, that is 7. Yeah, I skipped one, the first 1,000. There.
Yeah, so unfortunately, old family, lots of contacts, and what's good is gold if you don't use it for something.
So, in total, we'd be looking at 7,500 for a 6-month retainer, even though we'd only have to do the job the one time. Wonderful! I'm in!
Very good. Oh, and if you're interested, I can put you in touch with them.
Actually, that would be nice. There's so few people from that era, from that time
The
now.
Temple of the Land is at the Maester's.
.com.
Oh dear.
He's working on something.
When is he not?
Well,
He was a better focused young man.
he's training apprentices, and also, if they have finished cleansing it, making adjustments to Dwell's armor for me.
She had. There's undoubtedly going to be rather interesting tales told tonight. Oh, miss, write up the contract. Has scribe brought in, dictates it. Jarvis looks over it. Really? And there's about
And the man
20.
will come over there and just lean over his shoulder. You know I can read in several languages, correct?
And you're the only one of the party that's got the specific legalese, because you're God, to understand. You don't understand what they're doing,
Yeah.
but not the language they're putting it in.
Yeah, we both have charlatan, so we can at least.
You know what they're doing. I
We can
know
rewrite
how
it.
they're trying to do it.
Specifically, my con was forgery for my charlatan.
So the only thing you're missing is specific rules for Castamere. You operate in Goldhearth normally.
Mm.
You can forge legal contracts out there.
Right.
Whereas Demay is going, silly man, don't do that or I'll get the temple involved.
Alright, so... Let's see.
And she will be a brat about it and just get right down by his ear. Is that silly man? Don't do that. I'll get the temple involved. And he wouldn't like it. Make sure the horn is brushing the side of his head.
Alright, so all three of you, give me int rolls, add your proficiency. I need to introduce a knowledge system in this game.
$23.
22.
25.
And combined with Jarvis's, detailed knowledge of laws that go back for a century, with all that, your contract is ironclad. It has not necessarily screwed them over, however, it has prevented them from screwing you over without a lot of penalties. And just to enforce this, everyone gather around. He points at the orc.
Braz.
Braz, do me a favor. Be very large, intimidating, and menacing to any one of them that looks hesitant. Right.
Cheese.
Thanks.
And she'll just like,
Now, you don't have to look menacing
do you
at me.
wish,
I hesitate.
do you wish
Okay, I'm
a
done.
religious presence for this?
I've got a 27 on intimidation. That's true.
Raz just looks at you. Not bad.
I hit Brad's cheese and said, good, now I hesitate. I'm done now.
Right. Actually, technically, do you not qualify yourself?
That's what I meant. Do you want this to be official?
The High Houses certainly wouldn't mind, I'm sure. And if they do, they're on another continent, the cowards.
Donk.
And everyone, they get around the table. And there are, the scribe has spent the time. There's been like 4 or 5 hours that have gone by with all this shit going
And
on.
she will put the effort in and actually pray and everything. And this will be very, very...
So, Badira, do you assist in your own inimitable fashion? Do you summon upon the Weasley, drunken nature of Arian the Cunning?
Of course.
There is the faint, tremulous feel of divine forces. Perception rolls.
$25.
Just straight perception. Let's see, am I proficient in that? I don't think so.
I'm proficient in perception.
Say that 3 times fast.
I'm sorry, no. If I'm not proficient at it, that's a 23.
I'm at an 18.
I'm at a 22 because I am not proficient as well. So it's only my passive wisdom. I rolled a 19.
But each of you broke 20.
Yes.
So, that lovely divine glow, you've run into it several times by now. You know what it's supposed to be like. Out on the edge, it's not quite like at a distance, and yet it is. It's you understand it most of all. Distance without distance.
Mm-hmm.
There is not corruption. You're well familiar with what the taint and necrotic energy feels like. It is sickening. It eats. It's corrosive. This is a very deep evil. There is something malevolent and old, and it's just taking glee in the amount of suffering and chaos that's been induced. And that's all you can tell.
This is bad. Which is just, that's unexpected and unpleasant.
And then you notice that, and Jarvis chants a few words. It's in an odd dialect of Elvish. It's old, and it's basically what the high houses speak to, so the word choices are off, the cadence is weird, the pronunciation slightly off. He is, in fact, chanting a spell. I forget the name of the spell right now, but it's basically one of those, it's a spell that magically enforces a contract. They can't get out of it. Neither can you, but you really don't probably have any intention of deliberately trying to, duck out on it. They, on the other hand, as you know, greedy merchants would rather not pay. This, on the other hand, has ensured that, well, suffice it to say that even without the focus of the divine upon it, each one of you would be cursed, and your family line would be cursed for 5 generations. That doesn't quite mean as much considering your lifespans, but still.
Yes, but it should just smile. You really, really don't want Philandus mad at you.
5 generations of curses, even on the short human lifespan, could still really put a hurting on the merchant's house.
And there's the faint call of a dragon when you say that. That's the only manifestation.
But everyone hears it.
In Arian's case, there's just this drunken voice beneath the table. Don't do it, mate.
Contracts are the one thing that I hold sacred from the time when I was using them myself. So you don't break it, right?
Well, that Intimidate score has just gotten a massive bonus as these guys are now thoroughly cowed by not only you guys, but Jarvis. So, they're just going to go finish their food. The bread's a little stale by now. The wine setup is a little warm for them. They're not really that cultured. They like to pretend they are. Jarvis, on the other hand,
Bread, wine, dunk.
there'll be much better vintages if you're really concerned about that.
Try this. Wow. She took away from
Oh, this is rather fresh. I may have to go visit Arquette. There you go.
Thank you.
Uh,
Get
it-
out of the way out here. My mother does love me. I should have put it away.
Obviously. And that's his only reaction. He's had a strong shot of whiskey. And now, I'm going to go make certain of my affairs in order. He gives you the address of a restaurant. The Perilous Point. You can find it at this address, 3rd floor. And he hands to Demea a simple card. Show that at the door. They will let you in. No concerns. While I cannot obviously impose upon you, I would request that finer attire. In most cases, you are quite good, sir.
Oh, of course.
He's kind of looking at
She
the.
could leave the armor at home.
Well, yeah. And he's kind of looking mostly at the druid and Malona for this. As Malona's just in. She wears her basically combat leathers in most places.
And
We'll
she-
hose her down beforehand.
The man's just like, I can handle that.
And just brassy. And for you, sir, I know a very good tailor who specializes in unusual sized people. Maybe. And with that, Jarvis
Should we help
leaves.
him as well?
Tim! She will, before they go back to change and everything, stop at one of the temples and just give them a message to send back to the High Temple of Volandis.
Hey, Davin, you remember?
Yes! Oh, Davin, do you remember a man named Jarvis?
Who's looking for you?
He's alive.
He's alive and was actually very interested in speaking with you.
We can find him in such and such a
Well, no, so he may be sending you a message, and this is how he knows where you are.
The young priest nods. All right, we will send a runner. You should be there within a week.
You have very fast runners.
There are certain breeds of horses that if you breed them with other horses, they produce breeds of remarkable stamina. They're not nearly as useful in the high speed domain out here naturally, but once you get past the mountain ranges, they can go for a day.
Fascinating. I have something that could probably do the same.
Now, did you buy a horse that was from a
Go
trader?
outside.
Stands up, he adjusts his robe. It's the initiate robe with
Yes.
basically a little color.
But, come outside, because she's not going to do that in the building.
Obviously not. He wouldn't fit in the building.
Yes.
Not a lizard.
And
Just
she will
do that
summon
tongue
Marv.
thing.
Lizard.
And there's this right here just sniffs and does the cat nuzzle thing, bumps him aside. Good dragon.
Mauve.
Marvelous Marv.
Yes, marvelous mob. That was loud.
Yeah, it's not in the pouch. What's in the pouch is kind of muted because the speaker is right there.
Yes.
Oh yeah, good. We are still recording.
Yes.
All right. So now it is 9:30. We can go to dinner and then get everyone out into the wild, or we can call it here. Handle the shopping trip via online and pick up again next time. It is up to you three.
Shall we do dinner?
I'm.
Dinner. Dinner's fine. with me.
You got to be in at work at 8. And I don't know what you do.
I have to be there at 8:30.
Yeah. My
So-
usual.
Are you back to the?
I'm still on 8s.
Okay, that's not bad. You're not at
Yeah.
the. Oh fuck no, it's early.
Right.
It's still early, but it's not the. Oh fuck this, it's early.
Yes, it's
All
the
right.
7 early rather than the 5 early.
Yes, and I know there is a very big difference between 7 a.m. early and. Oh fuck, it's not even light out early.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Because it's actually light at 7 now.
I know, isn't it great?
It's weird.
I will, however, pause for a minute. Basically, I'm on cigarette. That thing is almost out.
Okay.
What thing is almost out?
My vape. And yay, we're back.
Bum.
Or are you hiding?
I'm hiding.
It almost looks like a nose.
It's like Lycopian canid.
If you flipped it over, it would look like a mustache. No. You gotta keep it turned around the other way.
Jackal was here.
So he was. So he is. So he forever shall be.
Eyebrows.
It's close to the solar symbol, though.
Yeah.
No moon. All right.
So we're apparently going to dinner.
Do we want a full RP it, or do we just want to
Guess who'll
cinematic it?
dinner?
Probably should cinematic.
Yeah. Considering it's 9:45.
All right. So, a couple hours later, everyone's gotten dressed, cleaned. In 3 cases, clothing it's actually bought because Bologna doesn't
And
have it.
enforced.
The druid and a shocking number of events actually shapes up and comes rather well dressed. Now it's a little too bright, but that's his style. He had to go for something to go with his skin tone.
And Janek takes 30 minutes deciding on something to wear.
And Badira, do you seek assistance, or do you simply go into a shop and attempt to acquire?
Badira might actually already have, with some of her previous disguises and such, she might have the clothes to pull this off.
And she could always ask advice from the tiefling.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll assume you've got one of your many disguises is something for upper society wear.
Yeah. I mean, after all, she is a charlatan. So.
True.
So this wonderful group shows up more.
Yorkon was replacing gems with rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but scouting the target, and with her sleight of hand.
Yeah, her sleight of hand's as good as her stealth.
And
So
then,
just put that out there.
she can always, would dress very nicely, be sticking things in her cleavage.
That's right.
So,
Which, while
There may
eminently
be
noticeable, is
many
eminently not
pockets.
noticeable at the same time, because you're not paying attention to that.
you're paying attention to the fact that there's cleavage.
There may be many, many pockets in said clothing that she's wearing, but
And our orc is fairly well turned out, actually, in a... how to describe this? It is actually a silk and leather sort of overcoat, shirt, and pants. So everyone shows up at the Perilous Peak. Now the outside of it is the standard, it's been carved from stone, although there are several balconies. There's light music playing, there's people out milling about. Inside, the amount of money spent to outfit this place, none of it is so gauche to have gold inlay or anything, but the stonework. Someone spent years on some of this. The marble, there are actually a few adamantine and mithril highlights. They are rather high up, and it would be quite noticeable if you decided to climb up there and try and pick them
I was
off.
going to say Badira might actually stay her hand right now. Even though there are probably many patrons that
Oh, certainly.
she
And
could
it's not
help
just
relieve them of wealth.
and it's not just some Castamere. There are a couple of individuals you recognize by the accent and their style of dress are from Goldhearth. There's a couple of Mahis noblemen. They're a little bit more militaristic in their cut. One of them actually is in military uniform. And
Badira might actually be keeping her head down just so that she doesn't run into somebody she recognizes.
and there's several Hendosi mafia members there, of course.
As is it.
And I mean, the one man who screws you guys over and blackmails you, who just tips his glass and keeps right on talking. That's it.
I might relieve him of a few possessions then.
He actually attempt to do so. So you do give me a sleight of hand.
Question is
Demea
whether
will just
this-
look at him and nod, and he is getting an eyeful
Should
from
I slip
Demea.
into the shadows first? We'll slip into the
Besides,
shadows
Demea
first.
is
Make it
rather
harder for him to notice.
distractingly attired. Not in the gaudy sense.
No. And then, no, he is distracting in the you can't help but notice him sense.
Yeah, and he's pretty much ignoring everybody.
It's what he does.
Yeah, right now, yes.
Actually, since it's not appropriate for a lady to enter one of these establishments unescorted, Jack.
Alright,
She
so
would've come in on
21
Janet's
first
arm.
two just kind of disappear into the crowds and ultimately into the shadows.
And he's still just...
Alright, so far.
And a 25 to relieve him of a little
Something.
of his possessions. Not much, just
One or
His
two
family
small
jewels.
things.
something later that he'll go. Crap.
His family jewels.
Well, the blending of the crowd's successful. You manage to get close, slip your hand into a pocket, and then that's when you feel he's trapped his pockets.
Of course.
He rolled just high enough that while he didn't catch you, he's got a trap there, just in case of pickpocket. And you just pull the hand back.
Well, you know, this is what the term cut purse came about for. Cut the belt loop.
You cut it.
It's not. Wasn't on a belt loop. It's actually got a jacket. It's a pocket.
It's a pocket actually sewn into the jacket?
Yes.
That's rare. Wow.
He has come. He is significantly wealthy since he's basically established control over most of the country.
I'll whisper in his ear, still staying hidden. Because I'm assuming there's lots of people milling
Yeah,
around. I'll whisper in his ear, well played, and then just back into the crowd.
you just see a smirk as he's continuing talking to his and some
And
fellows.
when he looks at the man, she'll just...
And the hat he has tips, rolls the wine in a glass in your general direction a moment, and carries on.
Wait, is there a feather in said hat?
No, there's
or
not.
other adornment?
Nope.
I wonder if I could relieve him of his hat without him noticing.
Actually, that would be really damn funny.
If you want to keep doing it, although you can see Jarvis up on one of the second levels, he is observing all this.
You know,
just-
Demea's gonna head up there whether Janet comes with her or not.
Is Janet tagging along, or
Sure.
is he just?
If you want to just look, if he wants to just look around, that's fine too.
As there's several younger wizards here, a couple of them
It was
you
really
see
more
them
of an escort
passing.
through the city into the restaurant that she was looking for.
He's still hanging out with her. He's going
Yeah.
along, so, yeah.
29 to relieve him of his hat.
You managed to, although you just understand.
I'm
that
not keeping it, I'm setting it on somebody else's head.
He turns around and notices just as you're doing so. See. And one of the waiters walks by. Well played indeed. And takes the hat off this person who is just so sloppily drunk that he hasn't noticed yet. And you see it returned. So,
It was
Brad
like this
shoulders his way through. He's bigger than the two guards at the door. He's walking. Malona looks distinctly uncomfortable. She's dressed well for the occasion, but this is not her scene at all. She doesn't have the movements for it at all. And the druid,
is
Marcus is Marcus.
yes.
The deer will help her through the crowd.
Stoking the fires of chaos.
What does that do specifically, or is
I am trying to invert the talent again, which was calming the tides of chaos. I'm stoking the tides of chaos.
give me a roll?
Except I'm not spending one sorcery point.
When he starts doing that, I'm just gonna walk away.
I'm going to use 3.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
just gonna walk away when he starts doing.
And all he's doing is
I
all
know,
you see
but
is
every time I see him do this, something has occurred. So I'm just. Demea's gonna walk up the stairs. She will just kind of. She has mastered the art of flowing through the crowd. So she
I'm
has gone
attempting
upstairs.
I'm attempting
What you got?
to
That's a 17 on the
blow
die.
through the crowd the same way.
All right. Give me another. Actually, you spent 3 sorcery points on this. Give me 3d20 rolls.
15, 16, 13.
All right. Reality has not outright decided to, flip around and invert everything to daffodils. But for example, things liven up a little bit. The people playing was this, sedate, calm, sort of violin and piano. No, it picks up more of a, well, you've heard this music from a couple of individuals who ended up out in the comedy section during the war. It is kind of an, upbeat, fast-paced, string duet. The guy on the piano is doing something more akin to jazz.
And she just
They're not entirely certain how they know what they're playing when they're playing it. The drunken individual that you placed the hat on top of, yes, where the hat was, he now has no hair. He now has bald hair.
the hair moved.
Yes. Where it went, no one's quite certain. And then there is the most unwomanly shriek as you see this, woman just holding up the corner of her dress and just quickly making her way to a side room.
Madam, do you need assistance? I can only take simple actions. This is a simple action.
She's just scurrying.
Demea is just
I'm not even gonna ask what happened to her.
You have no.
For all I know, it could be like a tongue.
either that or, it's like the finite improbability ray that makes the hostess's garments jump 12 inches to the left.
Yeah.
Something akin to that.
So is there some man who will have a very interesting shriek as he realizes he is now wearing women's underwear?
No, but
You may
there.
not shriek.
No, but Squishy on the other hand runs by holding a bra strap and underwear. He's caught it and he's running with it. Well, squishing with it. The thing is, no one brought Squishy along, but there he
He's
is.
there.
Yeah. And nobody knows that I'm the center of this either. So,
Well, one person knows, and he's just.
Demea has her suspicions.
yes.
Jarvis has deep suspicions, but also all you see is just smirking.
When he's stroking the amulet, he is casting something probably.
Yes, that's Demea's thing, and that's why she started walking. She just turned around when the woman shrieked.
He was there and saw you
Saw Squishy
mess
run
with the
across.
lights, so he is deeply suspecting you are somehow tied into twist zones. He has no idea how you're able to do this, but he can put 2 and 2 together. But basically, as long as he can, slough it off on someone else, he's good.
Oh,
You
no,
have
that,
not caused actual pain.
right.
Fear doesn't care
What I'm
because
curious
it's
about
distraction.
is, because of the way Calming the Tides of Chaos worked, when I stabilized twist zones, they snapped back after the 20 minutes, slightly less twisty. Doing it the other way around is magic slightly more wibbly after the 20 minutes.
We'll find out at the end of the party, won't we?
Yes. Because this is the first time I've ever spent more than 1 sorcery point on doing this kind of thing.
And everyone finally sits down, and for you, you've not had half of these foods. They're wonderful. All sorts of interesting delicacies, jellied candies from someplace you've never heard of, exotic meats, mead brewed from some fruit he says is gathered by the barbarians in the wastes, and then left only under moonlight for 3 months.
I may have heard of that one. We are near the waist.
You've heard rumors about what they do, but they jealously guard what they do to make that. And your family and associated town has not felt it worthwhile to go pummel them, and it's not worth the money to try and bribe them.
No, but I've heard of the alcohol itself.
And
history's not going to give me any more on that.
it is somewhere between a cordial and mead. With 3 different flavors every time you take a sip. 3 different fruit flavors.
Sounds slightly chaotic.
I like it. Nibble.
There's talk, there's fine
Well-
food. You tell him of the unfortunate tale, and he just looks crestfallen. You find out that he was her mentor originally. He had no idea she had gone off the deep end because he had to go handle her shit. She had left him. She was able to, go pursue her own magical arts. She was her own wizard. He didn't realize she had gone this far south. And he legitimately, I cannot believe the vault had gone that far. It's not 500 years enough. Truly.
To be fair, there were rather bizarre circumstances involved.
I also have no idea if 500 years is enough. That's why I'm planning to forget to die.
Well, yes, but that's you.
Yes.
Meanwhile, down at the bar, as the bartender is mixing up a drink, one of the glasses randomly catches fire. Not the liquid.
The glass.
The glass catches fire. And the liquid inside of it changes. It was basically a standard high-end rum. Now it looks like you've seen the oil reflections on on puddles of water and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Picture that without the slick on top. It's actually throughout.
And the glass is on fire.
Yes.
You want to try that?
There's the guy who's getting ready to pour it.
Wait.
I can't hold on to it, but I wonder if you might enjoy it.
I'll let you know what it tastes like. She'll just
She
reach
gets up.
over. She'll get up. She'll walk
Because
over
it's on the first floor.
Yeah. She'll get up. Do give me a moment. And she'll, if he watches her, he'll see her walk down the stairs.
And the guy's just ready to just dump it.
Wait.
Ma'am.
And she'll just reach out and take the glass.
Offered him a few silvers up for it.
Yeah.
Or coppers or...
If you, actually, gold is the tipping standard here.
Okay.
And she'll just flip a coin
That's right.
and she will drink what's in the glass and set it down. Does the glass go out after the liquid's gone?
Nope.
You can do
But
whatever
the fire is slowly changing color and dimming, however.
you can do whatever you like with the glass. It's just walk away.
Give me a wisdom roll.
A wisdom roll?
I was just curious if she wanted to pick up the glass because the glass wouldn't hurt her being on fire.
Yeah,
That's
you
why
see him
she-
taking off a glove, evidently mixing flaming drinks is something he's done.
That would
But not
be why
flaming
she
glasses.
No!
went. That would be why she went down there and did it.
Yeah. I was just curious.
Something different to try.
That would be a 22.
You remember back in seminary when that one guy from the coast had brought this dried seaweed and was smoking in a pipe, and he kind of got this weird buzz off of the smoke? And a bit more than that. For a moment, the world, like a wave, the colors shift, and then you're good.
That was interesting. And she'll proceed to tell.
Well, that's fascinating.
Because
I wonder what it actually became.
Just for a minute. But yes, that was her. Watch everyone go into shock as this very well-dressed woman, just picked up a flaming glass, down the contents, and just went.
And you overhear just this one wizard goes, no doubt, she was resistant to fire, tieflings. And that's it. There's no, snide. It's just simply, tiefling, fire resistant. This happens.
She'll go back up, sit back down,
And
and go back to explaining, the extenuating circumstances.
I guess we
around.
should explain to him that part of what helped her fall were these artifacts.
Yes, that was where I was.
It was
gonna
not-
go with that. It wasn't necessarily
His lack of training. In fact, a big part of it was probably these artifacts.
Yes.
And itchy books.
They were more than itchy to Demea, but to you, they were just itchy.
young lady, itchy books. Some clarification, please.
To be
They
fair,
got a weird tingle when you were near them.
she will go into detail about what exactly these books are suspected to
And
be,
on script as well.
and that they have driven several clerics
bonkers.
Yes, they are going to need some help, and they are getting the help they need.
Troubling.
Rather, why else do you think I'm all the way out here?
Boredom with a small desert town.
Oh, I'd already left Arquette before I became a cleric.
Ah.
Requesting for more books too.
But
I have talked to a number of people over the years. I will see if anyone else has run across anything similar, and if so, I will give you the location. I will attempt to purchase them, actually, and hold them for you.
They
If-
may not necessarily feel itchy to
read
others.
them.
Well, of course not.
However, you should be at least relieved to know that the souls that were trapped there are no longer. The children especially were sent home.
And you have ended Tval's unholy existence.
She was sacrificed to Melinda's.
After she was floored.
Yes, a rather innovative young lady. I must admit. I'm surprised your family let you out from the Undermountain. Really. First thing you heard anyone even realizing.
But yes,
Now the question
I have
is whether or
warned
not
her.
to reply to that with, "Let me out." Yes, yes, that's what happened.
And
I'm not there anymore?
Wait, is that why there's a bright orb in the sky?
Very calmly. There was one other person that we brought out. A scribe, Drawl.
A draw.
Yes.
I draw.
No, not familiar with it
He
myself,
wrote.
but
He was a draw.
there's at least someone else that managed to come out of that.
Oh, yes, Adral. He was very pleased with himself about ritual magic.
He
And then very disappointed that we already knew about it.
he is over a century and a half behind the times. And so once upon a time, magic was far less common.
Oh, yes.
But yes, Devin is currently quite well occupied.
Well, good. And hopefully it's helping him adjust.
Oh, I think he's adjusting quite well.
Excellent. He just lets it be. And with Braz, he switches his cadence completely. There was high-cultured, classic tones, proper word speech. With Braz, he sounds like the guy. He sounds like the guy from down the street, talking about fights he's seen, great combatants, things like that. And with Janek, he's trading stories of weirdness.
So he is not boring.
No. He's not worried whether or not he can keep his attention at any point in time or not is another question entirely at the moment.
But he does mention something that sounds a lot like the ship he helped out of the One Twist Zone.
They said they were a spelljammer.
You've run into another one.
Well, the front half of one, yes.
The front half, the Twist Zone, correct?
Yes.
That was how the last one showed up. And I have to wonder if all those. I wonder if everyone actually got back home.
Well,
That's near where we killed that thing to life too, right?
That is
yes.
immediately where we killed
Yes.
that thing to life.
That was around where we killed the thing to life. We killed the snake to life, yes.
That catches him for a moment.
It was dead, not undead.
It was dead and attacking, and we killed it to life, yes.
Every time we hit it and damaged it, it became more
Alive.
living.
Yes.
And he also Marcus, and you. Yes, I have it as a pet. What else would I do with it? This thing would come to life.
That lizard of his used to be an eagle.
Yes, where is he anyway?
You hear a
And
shriek.
From downstairs.
there he is. Go lick a tongue. I shouldn't laugh.
It's alright, my method to prevent the lizard from doing that was to go stand in the fire. In my armor.
No, not it worked.
Wait.
I do find the oddities and tiefling breeding fascinating. I wonder what will happen in a few generations.
Couldn't say.
I'm not directly responsible for the creation of any of those types. Certain aspects of my research into planar portals was no doubt co-opted in order to create the specialized races, the first and the second gen. Corrupted teachings, but unfortunately, I was no longer gifted with the pull. This is what happens when high divinations and a message from Eladrin itself. High elvish goddess. It tends to pick up gender when it feels like it. There were a few of us that decided to stay, but the vast majority, as you've no doubt heard by now, cursed by now, were left overseas.
Does Volandis have anything to say about that particular deity?
Silent for the moment, at least. Aaron, on the other hand, in your head, there's commentary about she is confusing fun. So I'm not going to try and do the voice. You never know. You never know how the night's going to go. One way or the other.
Oh, is it a
Completely liquid until it pulled it up.
And then it flash froze.
Yeah,
Oh,
almost.
you super cooled it.
Yeah.
Well, it is distilled. So, another couple hours, fine food, good drinks, and the night ends like that. Jarvis bids everyone farewell. He will be in touch.
inappropriately?
Possibly.
No, that's lick a tongue. Well, it's just finally there's this stuffy waiter. He is the epitome of the upper class twit, and just comes over
Last of the year.
of the decade. Comes over and just holding the lizard like it is a dirty diaper. This thing claims to be yours.
It's not mine.
Let's somebody's here. Boss, come on! Look, there was so much. It's so warm and inviting. So many of them. Come on.
Do you
I'm only a
remember
lizard,
Do you remember what happened the last time you tried that?
so I don't go into you anymore.
Smack! It's the
Thud.
first time they've really seen her just completely lose composure. Because even when she popped people in the head, she was very composed when she did it. This was just the smack.
Thump.
It might have been the climbed into you comment.
Yeah.
Probably. Marcus is over. I'll go collect him.
Do so.
Oh yes, and I have a note for you, so. You are the individual with the llama, correct?
Yes.
It is broken free.
Huh?
It is currently trashing a bar.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And the man just,
Frank has learned so well.
and the man just gets
I'm proud.
wonder. And there's this, which she's wondering, which Volandis would pick up as, could Mark be smaller? Just temporarily.
Roll me an E20. She heard it.
Her intent is to go send him to join Frank. Yeah, no, probably not.
What is
It's a
it?
9 on the die.
I'll still allow it. Oh, as long as you manifest him outside, just this once. Because reasons.
And she will have him manifest outside.
So is Mark
Normally
now a-
full size, and then you just see him shrink down to about 3/4 the size of Frank.
So
Oh,
he's now a Mulan-esque Eddie Murphy style.
I'll go along with you, Mauve, just because I think Frank might be looking for me. He knows that I'm usually in bars, and he might be upset that I'm not there.
No, she wouldn't have told anyone she was doing that.
Oh, well, still, actually, Frank might be upset that he can't
Barb's
find
already
me.
gone.
I should go check on Frank, just to be certain.
Of course.
And the maze just got us.
So, about 5 minutes walk. Yeah, you know where Frank is, because there's one individual picking himself up, having worn a steel breastplate that now has a hoof dent in it. And one man still wiping something out of his eyes. And the sound of an angry llama.
There's probably also an acid hole burn in the...
Not yet, but there is the somewhat higher pitched dragon roar now.
I go to the individual with the dented breastplate. What did you say to the llama?
I told him stop drinking out of my glass. He took offense, I guess.
Probably so.
What the hell kind of llama did you get?
His name is Frank.
Right.
Excuse me, Frank!
I'm gonna go find the Physos. Now. Step aside. There are 5 unconscious people, a bartender who is at the far end of it, and you see Frank reaching over with his neck, pulling a bottle, and Marv with one claw holding the bottle as Frank puffs a little of his teeth. And then they're just staring at each other for a moment, like they're trying to decide who's getting it first. Frank drinks.
Frank, Marv, there are the bottles. Here you go, Marv.
No lips, so...
Yeah.
And Frank just kind of eyes you for a moment and shrugs and grabs himself another
You
bottle.
already had one, Frank. Marv didn't have one. It was being fair, being nice. Otherwise, I would have given you one.
And he drinks.
I look down at the bartender.
Is that yours? He's pointing at Frank.
I'm not exactly sure I'd call him mine so much as he's a friend.
And what about that one?
Oh, no, Marv's someone else's friend.
Right. You're covering this, right? Otherwise there might be problems. And because I know it's going to get ugly. I've never seen a llama. I've never seen a llama outside of pictures.
Honestly, about when the bartender asked about covering it, Marv would probably have looked at him and shot acid into the wall next to his head.
Probably. Okay, if he's got that attitude. Yeah, that too. And he's just getting this low hiss.
Like I said, Marv's someone else's friend. He doesn't exactly listen to me. I'll cover the drinks.
And he just gets the double glare. Okay, well, fine, cover the drinks. Just, would you please ask them to leave? They can get one more bottle.
Are you alright with that, Frank? I mean, that was a yes, because he didn't actually kick the bar as well.
Finishes the bottle, grabs one of his teeth, leaves. Marv.
One for the road.
Then grabs the bottle and leaves.
Just because.
Because fuck you.
Fuck you, human.
Pretty much.
I pay for their drinks, and I start to leave.
Good call. The other guy who just finished wiping something out of his eyes just kind of staggers back for a moment and just leaves. It's all Frank, and he's gone.
But they'll have such interesting stories to tell.
They will.
Scritch pad. Frank on the back of the head.
He still has his feathers.
He loves those feathers.
Yes, he does.
That is his stunning.
Marv will take his
What are you
bottle.
looking for me, Frank?
Honestly, once Marv has his bottle, he'll probably just vanish.
So about halfway back to the hotel is just this brief flash of light. and an empty bottle shattering on the ground.
Marv deserves to have fun too.
Yes.
All right. So does everyone head back home?
Yeah.
To the hotel, have some water. Anything else you want to do for the night? Done.
I think probably enough damage done to the city.
Yeah.
What about magic after the party ended?
Do you go back to check and see what happened?
Yeah, eventually, yeah.
On the way out, I blatantly flicked the back of the guy's hat. This time, not being stealthy or anything, just.
Danae will just saunter past that. Probably just get that brush with the tail on her way past.
Dangerous and beautiful in both cases. And then Braz walks by.
Just dangerous.
Hello there.
Hello there, Poppy.
And here I thought the moon had become eclipsed for a moment. Now, anyway, gentlemen. So you go back late at night, or you go back the next morning before you guys head out?
It'll actually be the next morning before we head out. To see if things are still wibbly.
Yes and no. While the overall fabric has stabilized, almost like wisps, little like twist zone nuggets in a way, just traveling randomly. As they pass near one of the lights, it changes color. As it passes near the fridge, the temperature drops so quickly that ice forms over the door and then vanishes. And then they go off.
Now the question is, will they completely dissipate, or will they kind of function like little particulate matter and start drawing more chaos to them and become full twist zones on there later?
Guess we'll find out.
That is an interesting question for later.
I know. And Janik is perfectly okay with this.
Research.
Yes,
Pretty much.
he is doing research.
All right. And okay, there's no way we're getting to the next part with this, ladies. We'll be here another couple hours.
Yeah.
So,
There's Sammy's. Oh, that's the other thing we were going to add that we didn't, and that was the buckler.
well, next time.
But
And, about 600 XP.
ooh, 600. So that gives us 19.1.
I had 19.7.
I had 18.5 written down, but mine could be wrong. Do 19.7
Before or after?
before.
Before.